It's not just about managing orders. It's not just about managing phone calls and technology and people. It's about managing attitudes and setting the proper example.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Today's episode is sponsored by Synapse. Synapse can be found at spark4appraisers.com. Again, spark4appraisers.com. I was recently in a mastermind meeting, 2-day mastermind meeting with a group of successful appraisers. We were all there trying to help each other out. And one individual talked about their office and was talking about a specific person, if I remember correctly, talking about this person as if this person just had just the world to give, right? Just had a great talent, great ability, great professionalism, worked hard, did everything they were supposed to do, did it well, did it on time, okay, but had an attitude. And that led to a conversation about some other individuals in this person's office. And specifically that this attitude had either rubbed off on other people or they came with their own attitude to begin with, but that there was not a very good culture in the appraisal office. Okay. So we talked about this for a while, which led to a bigger conversation about this individual's office manager. So this individual is one of the few appraisers out there who runs a very large office, right? So we're talking multiple people, multiple appraisers, multiple assistants, some here, some overseas. And this individual has hired and pays an office manager. And this office manager's job is, well, what do you think an office manager does, right? Is to manage the orders, okay, to be the what we sometimes refer to as the air traffic controller for the orders, to make sure that they're coming in, going out, coming in, going out, not crashing into one another, okay? And making sure that technology is working, making sure that people show up on time, making sure that things are getting scheduled. Not that they're the scheduler, that's another job for someone else, but making sure they get scheduled, right? Making sure that everything runs smoothly. And so we were talking through this, and one individual piped up. And by the way, I love this about a mastermind group. I love the fact that in a mastermind group, there are people around that table who care as much about your business as I do, and as much about your business as you do, right? We are there for one sole purpose, and that is to help and assist other appraisers to be more efficient, more effective, to be more successful. And one individual piped up and said something that I thought was just so brilliant that we talked about that the rest of the couch session, right? And what does that mean? And how do we apply that to your situation? I hope that individual walked away with some great ideas and some great direction, goals set on how to change the attitude in the office. I want to share with you what this individual said. But first, I want to pause and remind you that we're sponsored by a great program called Synapse. Synapse for appraisers. Synapse is the service, if you will, technology program that you can use to help to support your adjustments. Now, folks, I know that we are being asked as appraisers more often than not to support our adjustments. They may not even say it that way, but where did that adjustment come from? What adjustment did you use to adjust for quality, adjust for condition, to adjust for GLA, to adjust for that extra bay on the garage? My question for you, appraisers, is do you have an answer for that question? When they come back and they say, where did you get that adjustment? My question for you is, do you know where you got that adjustment? Do you know where that adjustment came from? Well, Synapse can help you to do that. Synapse is the service that allows you to be able to do it efficiently. You can do it another way, right? You can do it the long way, or you can do it the easy way with Synapse. Synapse is found at spark4appraisers.com. Again, spark4appraisers.com. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair. Quick mini-sode for you. I told you that we were in a mastermind meeting recently, and somebody was talking about a general attitude of disdain, a general attitude of negativity in the office. Folks, that is so toxic. It's so challenging when you get to that point, okay? But we were talking about the office manager and the office manager's role, and one individual in the room said, sometimes an office manager's job is to manage attitudes. It just was so, I know it sounds so simplistic, but it was so brilliant. At the time, it just hit me like, yeah, that's true. It's not just about managing orders. It's not just about managing phone calls and technology and people. It's about managing attitudes and setting the proper example. If your office manager is a gossip, if your office manager feeds into the negativity, or if your office manager does nothing about it, when it's very obvious to everybody in the room, folks, that shows a lack of leadership. And you do not want a lack of leadership in your office. By the way, it starts with you. You, number one, are the most important person when it comes to setting the example of the attitudes in your office. If you want to know more, and join us, by the way, at a Dream Team upcoming. It is free of charge to attend your first one. Check it out by going to my website, theappraisercoach.com. Again, theappraisercoach.com, and go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.